From our CenterPoint Energy family to yours, we want you to know that you have the power
to stay home so we can help you.
To allow us to keep delivering energy safely and reliably.
It's hard for me not to be able to shake people's hands, but we'll get through this and be even stronger.
We're always there.
Thank you.
As an essential business, we're always here for you.
We're delivering energy to keep homes
and essential businesses going strong.
Staying home saves lives and helps keep our technicians safe. We're always there, working together.
And making a difference.
And when it comes to social distancing, we're sticking to 6 for your safety and ours.
Thank you. We're taking care of those around you
and taking care of yourself.
But you're never alone.
But we're all in this together.
CenterPoint Energy is always there.
Always there.
Always there.
CenterPoint Energy.
Man, shut your dumb asses up. What's up, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back. And I do appreciate the support. Guys, we're going into day 8 of this power outage where a lot of people still don't have power. I, for one, am grateful that I have power, but it's some things and horror stories I heard from last night running all the way into this morning. I was waiting to do this video to tell you guys about the time when I left and went to San Antonio earlier this week and wasn't here. Guys, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna play you a series of videos about some stuff that happened when I wasn't here. And in my humble opinion, CenterPoint Energy is trash, and they deserve all the scrutiny and bad talk, bad mouthing that they're getting right now, and all the heat that they're getting. Like, a lot of people are suffering in the heat right now. You got people in life-threatening conditions over 8 days, and you're doing is a bunch of excuses, and they doing some shady stuff behind the scenes, man, for real. And it's not out there nationally because they acting like they got this thing under control. My mom, I talked to my mom the other day. She told me, I didn't even know it was that bad out there. I know y'all had a hurricane, but I didn't hear they not talking about this nationwide. This is a damn embarrassment. It is. Let me tell you this. I got home yesterday. I went to HEB, which is a grocery store out here, right? My buddy that stays in the same building as me, he stayed. And he got a wife and kids. He said, man, I rode it out. He said the power came on, because I told you guys, Saturday night, we didn't have power. Then, well, no, Saturday night we had got power back on. He said the power came on for 2 hours and went back off. Say, because the transformer blew. My complex, my apartment complex, there's 2 sides to it. Fuse blew when they hooked the power back up on Saturday. One side had power, one side didn't. Transformer blew. Then come to find out, the one building in the whole complex never lost power. I went up front today, right, and talked to the apartment people in the management office. Shout out to them. They came back today from work and they were talking about how bad it was where they were. 2 of them still ain't got power and they at work. You know what I mean? I said, well, why you come to work? They said, well, because it's cool here. That's why they came working. That makes sense. Man, the conditions out here are grave for a lot of people. A lot of people have lost their lives, and I told you it was going to happen. And today I want to highlight some videos on stuff that you guys haven't seen or heard, and like these are just regular people, but I want to make their stories known to you guys. Before I get to that, what was told to me today blew my mind. One of my people that work in the office at the apartment complex, he works part-time. He has a part-time job that he just got about a month ago working at a hotel. This guy told me, he said, man, we can't, because I was telling him, like, you know, my son was saying the hotel rooms is like $800 and $900 they were trying to charge. He said, well, at our hotel, we couldn't give people rooms because they were holding them for people that came from out of town. You know, the service workers, the cable work, the line workers, and they never showed up. So for 3 days, they was just holding the rooms, and people was calling they couldn't get rooms. I was telling you guys we couldn't get a room locally. That's because right after the disaster, they knew how bad it was. First thing they did when they knew they had people coming in, they took all the rooms. So a lot of people didn't have rooms. You know what I'm saying? In Houston, you couldn't get a hotel room for people that never came. That in itself is crazy. He still ain't got power. I said, yo, where you be sleeping at? He said, I leave here and I go back to the job, the hotel, because he got a small office, and they allow him to go and sleep in his cubicle under the desk as long as he can't be seen by the customers in the back in the back room. This dude like 6'2". He said, man, I got my blankets and everything there. He said, it's better than sitting in the heat. He said, bro, I don't see how anybody could have sat in this and laid in this. Listen, it's dire conditions out here for a lot of people. Now, I'm gonna tell you some of these stories today. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. CenterPoint Energy need to be ashamed of yourself. Somebody need feet put on them, hands and feet put on them up in upper management, because you got all these workers and they're still riding around here, and you will never see them stopping anywhere. And I haven't drove too much in the area, which I will tomorrow, but their trucks still, like I went out to the supermarket the other day, there were trucks just sitting over there chilling. These guys that are coming out of other towns and stuff, out of cities and places like that, they getting paid regardless. So if they got to stand around or not, it makes no difference to them. I heard up to $10,000 was given to these people just to come out here. Some of these people making $10,000, so they don't care if they work or not. Then on top of that, the media is publicizing the violence and stuff where people are shooting at the trucks and all kind of craziness, but they're not talking about how people have houses right now that they're not in, that people are going and looting. Yeah, it's wild out here. But here, take a look at these stories, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Check it out.
Turning now to the ongoing power outages from Hurricane Beryl. CenterPoint says 85% of customers' power has now been restored. A woman who was without power for almost a week, though, was found dead in her condo this morning. Fox 26's Abigail Dye reports from West Houston.
This woman was living here at the Bearing Wood complex, and she, like so many other tenants here, didn't have power all week. Now, officials haven't confirmed her cause of death, but the HOA and other residents here seem to think that the heat and the lack of power had something to do with it. What's it been like here in this community since the storm?
Since the storm, 110 units lost power out of the 160.
No lights and no AC for at least 100 Bearing Wood residents.
We have not had power in this area of our gated community since the hurricane on Monday.
Sunday, this man couldn't get a hold of his 70-year-old neighbor.
I yelled in both windows, saw the cat, pounded like the FBI on the front door.
He called police, and not long after, they found her body and the powerless unit.
She knows I loved her. I thank her for the way she treated my now 23-year-old child. She was a good neighbor. She was a good neighbor.
We have elderly and at-risk residents here. We need to at least have some sort of a timeline as to when power will be restored for them.
88 degrees. That's how hot it is inside this unit just next door to the woman who passed. It's been this hot and hotter for a week now. These people are living in life-threatening conditions. Is it your belief that your neighbor's death had something to do with the power not being on?
102%, yes, without a doubt. There is no question on that.
The HOA has been in contact with Councilmember Mary Nan Huffman's office, sending this email the day before this death, asking for help getting through to CenterPoint.
The bad part is there's no way to get in touch with CenterPoint.
I just hope that this doesn't go in vain, and it helps to facilitate a meaningful conversation about making some real improvements.
This could have been avoided.
We did go live with part of this report earlier today, and it was after that report that CenterPoint showed up to the complex and restored power. Now, this story is developing. Once we get new details on the cause of death for this woman, we'll update you on air and on Fox26Houston.com. In West Houston, Abigail Dye, Fox 26 News.
It definitely has not been easy for Christina Bourgeois. She says she had to take her 2 kids to her mom's house, and she's been staying behind here to keep an eye on her home. And she's actually out here right now, already in her driveway, getting ready for another hot night. Christina, how are you hanging up?
I'm just hanging in there. It's awful. I have no ETA of when this will end. I just want it to be over.
I'm so sorry, and that's a big concern Christina's been having, is not getting a clear answer from CenterPoint about when her power will be back on.
I live in my trunk. There's my pillows, blankets. This is how I've been living without power.
This is where you sleep?
This is where I sleep. This is
every single night?
Every single night. This is where I've been sleeping. I cannot sleep in the home. It's way too hot. Me and my dog, we're out here. This is us. Oh. This is home for us right now. I haven't been with my kids for 3 days. I'm not able to leave the home because I can't lock my doors. I work from home. This is my livelihood, but I have not been able to work. You're welcome to walk through. This is my home.
There's definitely not a lot of air pumping in here right now.
Takeout. I can't cook. I can't do anything.
What did CenterPoint say when you reached out to them?
I have reached out to CenterPoint more times than I can really tell you. I have been informed differently every time I reach out to them.
If we pull up CenterPoint's outage map, it shows that her neighborhood is energized with the potential for localized outages. Even though her neighborhood is in the green, CenterPoint tells me that there could be a circuit level outage, which is why her neighborhood still doesn't have power. CenterPoint says circuit level outages typically include locations where more than 100 customers are impacted. So if you see street lights, surrounding neighborhoods, or grocery stores are without power, that's typically a sign that the problem is circuit level.
I'm very desperate at this point. Like, please turn the power on. Just turn it on, please. I miss my kids. I miss being at home. I miss my...
And we do see an electric crew out here right now. That's a good sign for this neighborhood. Hopefully they'll be getting power back soon, so Christina does not have to sleep in her car again tonight. Reporting live from Humble, Corley Peel, KPRC 2 News.
Coverage for you this evening. Leading us off is Jason Miles. He's been speaking with folks dealing with those nested outages. Jason?
Yeah, we've gone ourselves from the Klein area up on the north part of Harris County all the way here in the Loop in Edo, the east side. But we've heard from people all over the Houston area in a variety of zip codes, all dealing with this common problem. This gas-powered generator,
it's about $50 to $70 every day,
is helping to cool Jennifer Law's townhome as her temperature rises.
We see CenterPoint trucks driving by all day long. We think it's our turn. It's not our turn.
She lives near a CenterPoint facility, but understands her so-called nested outage will have to wait.
They pretty much told us essentially that we're not a priority at this point because we don't have enough people affected.
3 of 6 units in her complex, which also suffered wind damage, don't have power, along with one neighboring single-family home, while they're surrounded by others who do have power.
I think what's even more frustrating is that it says we're energized, but we're clearly not.
Other CenterPoint customers across the Houston area seem to be in the same predicament, in pockets without power, despite what the outage map says.
I mean, it's kind of frustrating to be stuck without power and hearing other people in our neighborhood do.
Pablo Jimenez says he and his family, along with the same number of neighbors, went through the same thing after May's straight-line windstorm. Someone erected this sign today illustrating the predicament 8 days in, complete with prayer hands.
So a whole week without power, saying that they did have power and no one coming over here. It needs to be a system in some sort where we can report that better,
so that even the smallest of outages are not overlooked. Maybe those prayer hands did some good, or maybe our visit, because that neighborhood in Klein, I'm told, actually it happened while we were there, their power was restored. Obviously, a lot of others still waiting for theirs to get restored. And I did get a lengthy statement from CenterPoint this afternoon explaining how these nested outages work. They may have to do in many cases with very localized issues, from individual fuses to meter boxes to weather heads. You can read a lot more about that on khou.com. Reporting from the east side, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
At 6 o'clock, we're learning Houston attorney Tony Busby is planning to file a lawsuit against CenterPoint on behalf of dozens of local restaurants. The lawsuit claims CenterPoint's negligence led these restaurants to lose power for days after Beryl. Stephen Goen joins us now after speaking to Busby. What more can you tell us here, Stephen?
Well, this is one of the first lawsuits announced in the wake of Hurricane Beryl. We're told about 50 different restaurants will be signing on as plaintiffs. In a statement on social media, Houston attorney Tony Busby said his firm was working on this class action. Busby says the lawsuit will allege that CenterPoint failed to maintain its infrastructure over the years and then failed to adequately respond to Beryl once it impacted the area. We're told all of the restaurants suing CenterPoint lost power when the storm hit, but then they continue to go without power as a result of CenterPoint's alleged, and I quote, negligence and incompetence. Speaking to us today, Busby said he wanted the lawsuit to force CenterPoint to go to court and make changes.
This is just one more avenue and one more approach to try to force CenterPoint to do what we all know they need to do, which is invest some of those profits into infrastructure so we're not sitting around without power and these businesses are not closed and people are not shut into their homes.
Now, Busby said he expected there will be more lawsuits to come, with other groups possibly suing CenterPoint in the same vein as these restaurants in Houston and Galveston. Today we did try to speak with some of the restaurants that we were told will be a part of this lawsuit, and we're still waiting for responses to our interview requests. We also reached out to CenterPoint for a comment, and we've yet to hear back. This is an ongoing story, and we expect to know more once this lawsuit is filed. Len, back.
All right, guys, you hear some of those stories, you know, some people that didn't make it and some people that are going through it right now. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be honest with you. This company has billions of dollars. But I think they need to be held accountable besides people just saying crazy stuff. And I think 3 things need to happen. And if I was the governor, I would push for this. Nobody should be charged for the month of July that was affected by this storm. Areas that was affected by this storm directly, that had power outages and stuff, they need to not be charged for this month. They need to just wipe that off the records and eat that. You got billions of dollars and stuff like that. Y'all can do that. That's the least you can do. These people shouldn't have to pay no rent. I mean, no bill. And I'm going to tell you, speaking of bills, I'm going to tell you something crazy. The day of the storm, my bill was due. I didn't pay it because the lights was off. I'm worrying about my safety. Me and Tony left here. You know what these motherfuckers did Friday? They called me 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, they never call when your bill is late. That got me thinking they in so much trouble. They trying to collect as much money as they can so they can pay these people or pay whoever. Because a lot of people are going to switch providers after this. Me included. You know what I'm saying? Lady called me on the phone. I said, ma'am, no disrespect. I said, but you know we ain't got no power, right? Oh, yes, they're working on that. I said, listen, I know you in the call center, so I'm not going to cuss you out. But don't call my fucking phone no more. I said, people are dying and you worrying about getting money from somebody that had to evacuate. Or his girlfriend would have died. I said, you have a good day. And I just hung the phone. They never called for the bill ever. They never called. I meant to mention that in my video. They never called for the bill. And then what else is crazy? A lot of people ain't telling you. The day this went off, right? People was calling the line. The line was blocked. They cut off all the calls from the Houston area because they knew what people was calling for. They blocked. They were blocked. You would go and call CenterPoint Energy at different times, and you would just get a message immediately. It wouldn't even be a ring. You'd be like, boom, welcome to CenterPoint Energy. Oh, they just turned off the phone lines. Second thing, they need to pay for every funeral and all these doctor bills of people that had to be rushed to the hospital or lost their lives during this heat exhaustion and all these heat-related deaths. They should. It's honorable. It is. You can afford it. It's honorable. Third thing is this. CenterPoint Energy need to get on TV and make a public apology because they still sticking to their guns. Oh, our system didn't fail. this and that. They trying to blame the arborists, the guys that cut the trees down, and vice versa. I'm gonna tell you, big business corporations have good lawyers, and they have a lot of PR people that know what to say, and they're taught to say something. Money makes the world go round. These people like right here got a lot of money. No matter what you hear the governor saying, all this heads on one roll, you're still at the mercy. Did you see that woman that lived in her car? What did she say? Please turn the arrow. She was pleading with them. Seemed like only when the media covers the stuff starts to happen. This whole big thing, man, is a mess. It is. Because, I mean, I still can, like yesterday when I got back, it still took me time to adjust from being back in the house when it was traumatic for me being here before I left and not think about how hot it was and how grateful I am. Either way, man, I saw that CenterPoint commercial. That the commercial's from a while back, but that's some corny shit. Always there, yeah. To watch people go through life-threatening conditions while y'all can't fucking make a simple decision because y'all sitting in a circle jerking the fuck off and arguing who's the boss. The fuck out of here. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm lucky because I got power, but everything's subject to change. Pray for those that don't have it and pray that they do get it. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Take care.